Enough with embrace debate. Pointless yelling at each other on ESPN and Fox, yet very little actual content. It's time for a change. A voice from the fan, for the fan. The most compelling topics in sports, all covered here. This is Corbet's Corner.
Okay, happy Saturday, NFL weekend. Should be some good matchups. We're going to be posting this right before the first game kicks off here. So the Rams coming up at Green Bay. So we're excited. Matt Cruz and I'm Dylan Corbett. Want to break down the games. Also want to start with kind of the NFL headlines. It's the coaching carousel. And just breaking down some of the big hires so far. Robert Saleh to the Jets. I mean, we know he's a great defensive coordinator. I think that's about kind of the baseline there. The Jets is just such a trash, like it's such a terrible organization. You feel like that's probably destined to fail, and especially that market, which is so toxic at times. But I did really want to touch on Urban Meyer going to Jacksonville because, you're thinking about Urban Meyer – and you think, he could have any job he wants. And Jacksonville's a good job, an NFL job. But you think about Jacksonville. It's like Urban Meyer's he's going back to Florida, but something about Jacksonville. Like, is he trying to go to Vegas? Is he trying to go to London eventually? What do you think about the hire? And I've got some thoughts and some comparisons of college coaches who dominated the sport and then made the jump to the NFL and either succeeded or completely blew up in their face.
Personally, I'd be happy with him and Trevor Lawrence coming to my franchise. I've said this before.
Do the Jags have a passionate fan base? I get there's a fan base.
I mean, they're not that long removed from being in the AFC Championship, and their fan base was pretty they were around then. So, yeah, I think they do. I mean, they have cap space. So, yeah, no, it's a good job. Right. It's not but you build someone. Maybe you're the guy that actually turns it into a football town. What else has Jacksonville going for it? I've said this about the Bears, and it's honestly true about the Vikings too. Both the Bears and Vikings continue to make decisions, or like lack thereof making decisions, i.e. like firing people, that set them back for years and years and years. Like, they're not proactive, they're not progressive. I would love if the Bears had cleaned house and you told me I'm going to get a top 5 quarterback and Urban Meyer's your coach. I'm fine with that. Robert Saleh, that kind of gives me like Todd Bowles vibes when he was hired by New York, defensive guy.
Right.
But that's just
had good years, but overall it wasn't a success. Yeah.
Right. Like, that's just not going to get it done. I would, you have the number 2 pick. You still have to make the decision to move on from Sam Darnold. I guess it's not a guarantee. They're talking that, you could keep him and not draft a quarterback at 2 and try getting him with another QB-minded guy, but then you just hired a defensive coordinator. So I don't know. We'll see. I would have if I'm a Jets fan, I would want an offensive-minded head coach. You got to score points.
Yeah.
Get an explosive offense and let the defense take care of itself is the way you win football games in today's age.
How do you think Urban Meyer's going to do? You think it's going to be a success or failure? I know it's, predicting possibly decades from now, but what's your gut feeling?
I think it'll be a success. You're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. You have cap space. You'll get some former players that, if they're free agents, they're going to want to come play for them. I saw a joke there, like the Jacksonville Jaguars would be his lowest payroll since he was coaching at Utah. Like, Ohio State on that payroll, paying guys. I don't know. I think it's an attractive destination now. And I think that, like I said, they're not that long removed. So, they could put it together.
So here are the 3 names that I really kind of made this comparison. You've got Nick Saban, right? Nick Saban and Meyer, I think, are up there in terms of dominant college football coaches of our time. The record speaks for itself. The championship speaks for itself in terms of Meyer, and Saban's just a machine. But he was a complete failure at Miami. He stopped at Miami with the Dolphins. So a complete bust. I don't think he's ever going to go back to the NFL. I think he's in college to stay. He's towards the end of his career. Urban Meyer made the jump. So Nick Saban was the failure, but then you've got Jimmy Johnson, a guy who conquered both levels, and I mean conquered. Pete Carroll was my other example, basically. And in terms of what I think Urban will do, it's set up for him. And isn't he always kind of, what's his specialty? Is he offense, defense? I felt like he always just was just a
Everything.
juggernaut. Yeah.
Yeah, they were truly just a really good all-around coach.
And he's got that respect.
He built three. I mean, he didn't build Ohio State. Well, but he had to revive Ohio State. They had gone through a rough patch. He built Utah completely out of nothing. I don't remember the state Florida was in when he got it, but you know that they were top notch when he left there. So yeah.
In terms of the Bears, you predicted it basically standing pat. So what's the next thing you're looking forward to in terms of news this offseason? Is it Trubisky, or are you just going to basically give it another year? Because you brought up the point where it's like you just wasted the franchise's future by not cutting ties, not making the move. Falcons did that, I think, for 2 years with Dan Quinn. And the Bears could be doing that for a couple of years for now with Nagy.
Yeah, the next decision is a quarterback, and keep an eye on them trading some big names. That's definitely possible too. Defensive side of the ball. Allen Robinson is also a free agent. So,
yeah.
Allen Robinson, the quarterback situation, whether Trubisky or Foles will be on the team. Will they both be on the team? One of them, surely one of them, but hopefully not both. Defense, like I said, Mac, Hicks, Fuller, Jackson, all those guys could be traded. So we'll see what happens.
Falcons get a new coach, coordinator from Tennessee. And at first I was like, what? And then I thought about it. You know, I would give that Tannehill's the better quarterback than Matt Ryan now. I would, as a diehard Matt Ryan fan, make that concession. But I think Derrick Henry helped them. That's the thing. The Falcons don't have a Derrick Henry. I don't know if that's the plan. I don't know if Arthur Smith's plan is with Matt Ryan, because I like what he did with AJ Brown, who we've got Julio Jones, right? We've got a receiver like that if he could stay healthy. And by the way, he's got Ridley aside him. So the offense is there. If he wants to stick with Matt Ryan, that excites me. Like I would be pumped up about the season. But is he, you like this guy, Arthur Smith, is he good because he has Derrick Henry, or is he really good at transforming Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback?
We'll find out. This one reminds me a little bit of Matt LaFleur. Did LaFleur come from Tennessee?
He did.
Okay. Nothing he did at Tennessee was too impressive.
No, I think it was before Tannehill, right? Or maybe I can't remember.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, he was all right, but not because he's been there for 2 years. So Tannehill wasn't even there yet. But he was the perfect
Mariota. It was like, okay.
Yeah, and he was the perfect match for Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Is Arthur Smith that for Atlanta, who he's actually done a little bit more. I mean, Tennessee was a top 3 ranked offense. Like it was them, the Chiefs, and the Packers were pretty much top 3 in almost everything. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, it's nice when you have Tractor Cito setting NFL records for 2 years when you're the OC. So.
That'd be cool. And I'd be excited if maybe they went in on one of these flashy running backs in this year's NFL draft. I don't know. I could get excited. Quick thing here, and then we'll get to the games. I saw a report that 2 of his teammates were openly disappointed that they weren't going to have Ryan Fitzpatrick for the final game. Like, they have no confidence in Tua. Now, rookie year, but this is just the alarm signals for us. It's confirming everything. I want him to do well, but it seems like his teammates already think he's a bust too.
Look, it's a good thing you probably figured out what he is and what he's not right now, because you still have the number 3 pick in the draft.
I know. So that's what's interesting.
That's why I think, because people were overly critical of when they made the move and they said Tua's starting now after Fitzpatrick was not playing poorly at all. But I said then it's because you got to find out what you have in Tua, because you're not going to have a top 10, top 15 pick for the next couple of years. We'll see. But yeah, he did not look good.
No. Yeah. It could be recency bias. And again, if you give him a better offensive line, if you get him another year of experience, more weapons, more than just Devontae Parker, then I think it's been 1 year. We'll pump the brakes. But I just thought that was interesting. Okay, let's get to the games. Rams Packers. I'm worried, but I just saw Cooper Kupp's out, right? Yeah. Again, I've got the Packers. I've got them representing the NFC. I told you I was wrong. I thought the Seahawks would have won that game. Rams defense plays. They're the best, I would argue, the best defense remaining, right? Now that the Steelers got outed. What do you think about this game? You told me be worried about the Rams, and I am. In terms of the number, I took the Rams plus 6.5. I still think Green Bay, because of the bye, squeaks this out.
Yeah, I'd have a teaser going, and I'd have the Packers down to just win the game, but I do think Rams cover 6.5.
Yeah.
I might bet it. Yeah, Aaron Donald could give them a lot of problems inside. Jalen Ramsey will follow Devontae Adams all over the field, and that could be a huge factor if he shuts him down. Not likely, but it's possible he's able to do that. Cooper Kupp's a big loss, so I don't know how they'll score. Do they use the same game plan that Sam Fran used last year, where Garoppolo attempted like 7 passes one game? That type of game plan, could they? Maybe that's how they win the game, or keep it close at least.
Yeah, the total scares me because the Rams are just an under machine because of that defense, but 45 against Rodgers. Goff maybe gets a touchdown here or there. I don't know. Staying away. A pair of quarterbacks that got their first postseason win last week. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Jackson, I don't know what just happened there. I had a seizure. Baltimore plus 2.5. I think Lamar Jackson gets it done. I was like, wait a second. The Ravens are the hottest team in the NFL. And I was like, wait a second. The Bills might be the hottest team also. So this is going to be interesting. But the team last year that was hot, that made that run into the playoffs, into an AFC title game, was Tennessee. I think Baltimore's this year's Tennessee. I think they win this game.
Definitely could. That could be the most exciting game this weekend.
Yeah.
Hope for a lot of points. Should be a great battle. Josh Allen has been severely under valued all year. He gets a little bit of love on this line at minus 2.5.
At home too, and there's going to be fans.
It'll come down to who makes a turnover here, a costly turnover, which defense gets a impressive takeaway or two, something like that. That's going to be the deciding factor. I hope it comes down to the wire though.
Cleveland, Kansas City. This number scares me. Public all over Cleveland. 10 points always scares me. Cleveland's the lovable Cinderella story this year. I got Kansas City winning the Super Bowl, so I like the under. High wind alert. What do you like?
Again, hopefully, lots of points. I think no, Kansas City's gonna roll. They're not gonna get stopped.
Remember last year when it was
24-0.
Yeah, and they covered somehow.
Yeah. I could see a slow start initially, like maybe 10-0, and then
that wind. Yeah. All right, last one. I have no idea. Is the third time these teams have played each other. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. My bias has blinded me from New Orleans all year. You just saw New Orleans beat a terrible Bears team. We have no idea how to analyze that game. Is Brady going to get this done? I mean, come on. What?
Yes. Tampa Bay is going to win. They're not going to lose 3 times to New Orleans.
Right. That's 2-0.
Something shitty is going to happen to New Orleans that we're going to be talking about on Monday.
Correct.
Something incredible is going to go in Tom Brady's favor. Him and Antonio Brown are buzzing right now. Mike Evans is a little healthier. Godwin's a legit threat. I think Gronk might make a big play here or there. Defense is plenty good. We see Sean Payton loves Taysom Hill. Maybe Taysom Hill fumbles or does something fucking stupid like he did against the Bears. Always possible.
Yeah.
We'll see.
God, I hate Sean Payton.
I like Tom, though.
This line opened at 3.5 for Tampa Bay, and they're down to 3. But I think they're public. I don't know. I saw like Ravel's tweeting about huge hitters in Vegas laying hundreds of $1,000s on the Saints. But yeah, you said it. This is a Brady type game. Okay, that'll do it. NFL, we'll put this out right before the Rams and Green Bay. Quick note, UFC, they are early, so they're in Abu Dhabi, so this is going on right now. I just want to touch on the title fight, the headliner. Max Holloway, number 1 contender against Cater, whatever. He's the up-and-comer against Holloway, a former champ. I think the changing of the guard occurs tonight. I like the underdog in the title fight. And there's title fight in the headliner. And there's fans there too, which has been awesome. So fans slowly coming back into our sporting lives, which I am appreciating it. Everyone stay safe out there and enjoy your playoff weekend.